I like how you're spinning this about like
masturbation.
you're worried about pregnancy, where it sounds like maybe you were molested, and that's the only way you could come. The only way you could come is by getting wrestled.
100%.
Really?
Yeah. Nailed it. He's been molested 5 times. Yeah. Subscribe to the podcast, KFC Radio on YouTube.
Bang.
God, you are a sexy individual. It just works, you know. I got a theory about it.
I love it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Well, like, I mean, it's a great shirt too. I'm skinny fat,
Yes.
and I genuinely think it's better to be.
Oh, I'd love. Yeah, I've thought about this big time.
Yeah, hop on this mic here, because I think you like guys like you. I think look better than guys like me.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah, fuck. God damn it!
He's like, you're right.
Just me versus you. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I do think you're better off being fat as hell, but you got to be a specific kind of fat.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I mean. Like, but you're like round, right,
Exactly.
and
You
filled
don't wanna
out.
be- you don't
I'm
wanna be-
lumpy
It's the
and
same-
rolly. You're just like, boom, I'm a little bit bigger.
You know what it is? It's the same way, like the same way titties work. Is
Yeah.
a man's body. You want to be plump
Full.
and firm.
Yeah.
You don't want to be saggy.
Right.
You know?
That's what I am.
You're like a little
I'm a
fucked up
melted
B cup.
candle.
Yeah.
Just,
The perfect explanation.
yeah. No, it makes perfect
Oh, I
sense.
thought about this.
And you know what the
'Cause you
worst
had
part
these-
is usually, you know, at least like skinnier people are normally like healthier at least.
Right,
I don't.
right.
I'm a bag of bones. I'm a piece of
Exactly.
shit.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
not even like I'm like, well, I wake up in the morning and I feel better than you. No. We probably feel the same
Right,
fucking
right,
way.
right,
I'm just
right,
ugly when I
right,
take my shirt off. Where you're kind of like,
Exactly.
you know, he's a big guy. Whatever.
Exactly. You let it rock. You let it rock.
I mean, we were just talking about the picture you posted on Mother's Day.
Yes.
Which is it's a lot like the Seinfeld episode with the picture of Kramer where it's like, I can't look away. It's oddly
yeah.
seductive.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
No,
yeah.
it was just like I was like, that's a hot dude.
Thank you. That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for.
I was like, I fucked that dude.
Fully 100%. I'm trying to put
I'm a
that
straight
vibe out
man,
there.
and I fucked this guy.
Successfully, you know, Pride Month is here, and the vibe has
Oh, I'm
successfully
ready.
been put out, man.
I'll get sucked off by a guy. I don't care. Truly, I don't. Who cares? It hasn't happened yet. I haven't. You're
just waiting. You're just waiting for the right time.
There was one time where I met this guy who reminded me, like, you know, when you meet someone and they're just like, oh, that's like my buddy, whatever. This guy reminded me of my friend's ex. Like, he had the same energy of a like cute woman, and he was like a little blonde guy. I was doing shows, right? He's just kind of chatting me up. I had a second show to go to, but if I didn't, who knows? Like, true, like, I'm like,
Dude,
I might have gotten sucked off by that guy.
I got a
you know?
full-
I had 15 more minutes, man.
I got
Truly.
a full-on offer once by a guy
Yeah,
to suck
yeah.
my dick, and I said no,
Yeah.
and it's the gayest thing I ever done.
It really is. Hit this guy up. Do you have his contact?
If you had
He's a spin instructor.
that guy.
He was my spin instructor.
This guy was so fucking hot,
Oh wow.
and a spin instructor in his class. I mean, like,
wow.
Yo,
the homophobia was raging at that point.
Yeah.
Who
It
could
wasn't
turn down?
homophobic to be
It's
like,
homophobic to turn
no.
down that guy. He was that hot.
Yeah.
You should have been like,
he was
listen.
showing me his dildos. He's like,
Whoa, really?
He's like, yo, this is like this dildo and this dildo, and I was
And
like,
they were all-
sick.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'll suck your dick. And I was like,
Flat
You saw the
respect.
dildos. You're like, those are way bigger than my dick. They're like,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
disappoint you,
embarrass
bro.
myself if I fuck this guy. You were hard. He just couldn't tell. Your dick was barely making a dent in your khakis.
If you went out this weekend, free
Yeah.
night, all the time in the world, and some dude, would he have to be hot?
Well, it wouldn't. Again, it's not a hot thing,
Right.
It's
That's what's weird, right?
It's an energy thing.
Yeah.
And I will say, I would 100% prefer a woman to suck my dick. Like I want
Just to be clear.
like which is fun, you know. But like, and I will say, he's got like I do want him to be a little feminine. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like,
So it's like you want a dude who's basically a chick.
like give me a little long hair. He has
Yeah.
like he has makeup, but you can't tell.
can I ask you
You know what I mean? Like he's got a real natural look going.
He's
You know
wearing
what I
war
mean?
paint. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet. What's his deal?
No,
No!
there's a smarminess to him that I don't. You know what I mean?
I don't disagree.
I like that's why you like
Yeah.
him because he's like a little smug little fucker. That's why you're
I
into
don't
him.
want smugness.
We,
no.
we had a clip on our show once. The question I asked was, what was it? It was like, who do you think would do better with the opposite sex's body parts? Basically, like chicks with dicks or guys with
Oh,
pussies.
true,
the
true.
way I posed it, I don't know how it was, but I was asking him like men or women, and he answered Timothy Chalamet was his answer, and I was like, that's not what I meant.
yeah.
So ever since then,
Oh, that's a classic hypothetical. It's the like Bailey J versus Buck Angel hypothetical. Is that what you're talking about?
No,
A woman with a dick,
it
a hot
is
woman
kinda
with
like
a dick,
that. Yeah,
or
it-
a guy with a pussy.
Right. That's
1,000 times out of 1,000, girl with a penis. It's not
Yeah.
even
No. No.
like the penis is the least objectionable
Yeah.
part. You know what I mean? I don't want stubble. I don't want to smelling
right,
like a
right.
guy.
Everything
Dude,
else
that's
about
better.
No, a
Hall
dick
pass.
I can deal with a dick.
I've
It
said
all
before.
passes, like, would you rather kiss a guy with a beard?
I would rather
or
suck a guy's dick before I
And
kiss
it's
a guy.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
yeah.
know.
If
I don't want
kissing
this-
you right
I-
now, absolutely not. I'll blow you way
Yeah.
before I do that.
I will say I grew up in I'm Greek, so I'm used to kissing stubble cheeks. So it's like I'm good with that. I think I would probably, but like
But
a
like
deep,
making
a
out,
prolonged makeout, a
the
passionate makeout
beard and
session.
the mustache.
It was like I
Yeah.
think in Hall Pass, I think in the movie it's like, would you rather kiss a guy for 15 seconds or like suck his dick for 2 or something like
I
that?
see, I see.
And
Yeah.
if it's with the stubble and the feeling and all
I'm
that,
with you.
No way.
But then again, to go back to
I don't know, I've
that,
had a popsicle before.
let me go back to that little, yeah, of course, that little blonde guy from that show. I would kiss him for hours. I don't care. You know what I mean? But he's got to read. And I think that's also the thing of like we're in an age where it's like we're understanding gender is fucking bullshit, and it is kind of like people are just kind of like somewhere on a spectrum.
just
You know what I
whatever
mean?
your dick gets hard for.
And
Whatever
it's
your
like,
pussy gets
and
wet
so
for.
I think I'm like, a guy that's closer to the, to the other end of the spectrum. He's just kind of like, on his they them shit.
Yeah, right.
like I
Do your thing, man.
Whatever.
I mean,
on
like
his he
the-
they shit.
like,
You know what I mean? That's fine.
If I
I'm
found
fucking-
out that you,
I think we're all figuring out there's different stuff we can
making
fuck.
out. If you were making out with
Well,
that
holes
dude,
around.
Yeah.
you're making out with that guy for hours, like you said.
Sure.
That's way gayer than if you fucked him.
Oh, easily.
Like if you were
Yeah,
just like,
yeah,
I fucked that guy, like, well,
Yeah.
a hole's a hole. You
Yeah.
kissed him for a few hours. You're
Yeah.
a gay guy.
He was great. He was cool.
There's
I
some guy out there listening.
wonder
Like,
where he's at.
like, wait a minute,
I'm
that
trying
was
to think,
me.
I'm trying to figure out where the show was. It was in Brooklyn at the Faulkner. That was the bar. This is like 4 years ago. If you're out there and you've kept it tight, hit me up.
This has to be the first podcast in history where all 3 people on it came out in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. We're all at least heteroflexible,
I-
minimum, and possibly bi. You know what I mean?
If not
Like,
fully gay.
Pride Month,
Say,
everybody.
listen, guys, unshackle yourselves from Barstool and go suck some cock. All right? It's time. It's time, fellas.
I really think the first step is when the first time that you watch a hot transsexual porn star and you're like, well, wait a minute.
This is awesome. I love this.
Right? Like that's the first time you're like, well, wait a minute, I could do this.
Yeah.
Yo, I saw Aubrey Kate and I was like, God damn, all right.
There we
Aubrey
go,
Kate
fellas.
is so hot.
There we go. I
And it's
love
like
this. The sexual liberation of KFC is happening right now.
it's like this is a lot easier than I thought it would be. I don't know. All of my answers for the hypotheticals have changed. I got to go back to about 10 years of podcasting and change all my answers.
It's a new age, dude. It's a new era.
Well, yeah, no. We figured out the math behind it all. It's like if you're watching transsexual porn, transgender porn, it's more tits and
Right.
chicks, and then there's
your
always going to
buck.
be a dick. Yeah.
There's a dick.
It's more bang for your buck.
If the dick's gonna be there anyway, let it be
it be on a
attached to a pair of beautiful Brazilian fake breasts, right?
Just bolted on there.
Why not?
Plastic tits.
Absolutely,
man.
And listen, the technology's out there these days. Some of those titties are looking
Oh
awesome.
my God! Give it another decade.
Yeah,
you give it
yeah,
another
yeah.
10 years, you're not
Yeah.
going to be able to tell a
I
fucking
do feel
thing, man.
you do kind of, and it is Pride Month, of course. And you got my heart goes out to like the like pioneers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's
The
like
OGs.
they were dealing with like less. It's like how like the NBA players were like Dr. J's playing in like Converses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
Larry
it's
Bird
like,
had no 3-point line.
Yeah,
shit
exactly.
Like that.
Just
yeah.
like the creaky floors. It's like the equipment just was not.
I mean,
there.
back
You know
in the
what I
day,
mean?
you're
They were
in a
doing-
back alley on like,
Yeah.
you're gonna die on a table somewhere. Now it's like
Exactly.
you walk out looking like a
State-of-the-art.
Kardashian.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this?
Like, I wonder if like trans women from like the 50s look at like now, like the girls now's breasts the way like the way like Bob Cousy looks at somebody's ankles. You know what I mean? Or he look at like the ACL surgery. That's what it is. So now someone tears an ACL, they're back in 4 months.
You're better than ever. It's like microfracture surgery. You come back, you're good, man. This used to be a career ender.
Yeah, the way Amari Stoudemire looks at fucking Russ's knees. He's like, what the fuck? I would have had another 3 years. You know.
I was telling Kevin before the show that I listened to parts of your PMT interview, and I heard you kind of stumble and pretend like what's the that website called where they they kind of like abuse the girls, and then afterwards they're nice.
No,
to
that
them.
was a true. I came on here. The first thing I said is I'll fuck a guy if he's cute. Well, you think I was stumbling around kink.com? I was gonna say you just forgot. I forgot the thing.
Okay,
Trust
we wanted to know you're in a safe space here.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm open anywhere. That was a pure memory fumble. That wasn't like yeah. I used to love the one. I used to love the one where like girls would wrestle each other, and then the loser
wrestling,
got
right?
fucked. Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah. Well, that's how I used to have sex. I had sex like that for a while.
Yeah, really combative.
Because
that was just abuse, John. You were just being
I was so
abused.
scared about pregnancy that it would basically we would wrestle for a long time.
That's
and then I'd pull out so early I would just jerk off on top.
I like how you're spinning this about like
masturbation.
you're worried about pregnancy, where it sounds like maybe you were molested, and that's the only way you could come. The only way you could come is by getting wrestled.
100%.
Really?
Yeah. Nailed it. He's been molested 5 times. Yeah, I tell him all the time, and it's not like as far as we know, it's not like your uncle fucked you, but it's a lot of weird shit with like babysitters and things where it's like, yo, that was not normal, dude. And he's always like, it's not molesting. I'm like, yeah. There's something there. He just psychoanalyzed you in like 5 minutes, bro. That's the energy you're putting out.
Sucks.
I could go, man. I'm sorry.
Perfect. Dude. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, no, we kink.com, we have a good relationship with that San Francisco Armory.
Yes.
That shot,
yes,
like
of course.
Because what we learned is like with our audience and kind of like microcosm of like society in general, you show people the picture of that castle from the corner with the flag in the nighttime sky, and you either know
you
it.
Stop 3 sentences ago. I got it.
And you either know it,
right,
or you don't. And it's like, which one are you? And I roll with the crowd who knows it.
I'm having a Pavlovian response right now. you just said it. My dick is like 3/4 hard right now, just from the image. Absolutely. No.
Yeah, it's like some people are like, what is that? Like a civic center? It's a torture sex dungeon. As a matter of fact,
I bet if they took the like editing off it, where it makes it kind of like ominous, it would just be like a pretty nice building. You know what I mean?
It's old architecture. Now it
looks like the New Girl apartment complex.
Yeah.
Because the New Girl always does like a shot from right outside, and it looks.
We need a crossover. We need a crossover of Nick and Schmidt banging each other in the fucking dungeon.
Schmidt's gagged, ball gagged
up. You've been making the rounds, dude. You've been putting in work for the special, huh?
Dude. Yeah, so my special's coming out June 5th, Sunday, and I've been trying. I'm trying to get the word out there. Yeah.
I feel like you're the type who would be like, I don't want to do promotion. Fuck it.
Nah,
you're
dude.
on your grind. I mean, you Cheeto. You did Are You Garbage? You're here.
I'm doing
PMT,
everything.
You've done every
Oh, you did
round.
Garbage?
Oh, I love those
The
guys.
fucking best.
I was
The
I did that
fucking
show before, like on Zoom over the pandemic.
Yeah,
I love those dudes.
That was
Yeah.
I just listened to that today.
Yeah.
He was like he was one of their first guests, and he was like,
Yeah.
I did that back when I was like, well, this isn't gonna work, but
Yeah.
But I'll throw you a bone.
Those guys
and
are
goddamn
hilarious.
did it work,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
so
they
happy
blew
for
up.
them.
That was awesome.
But yeah, dude. I mean, the thing is, I love stand-up comedy. That's the funny thing is like stand-up is like, I mean, it's funny because it's the thing people actually care the least about. Like right now, like people want like viral little stuff. They want like
videos and
podcasting. They want
podcasting,
videos, all this kind of stuff. And the actual like live performance, which is my favorite part, right? Like there's something like magical about being in that room. Like even a special to some degree doesn't really capture what's going on. I think that's the cool thing about stand-up is like every show is its own kind of like relationship between the comic and the crowd. But the way to mass get your stand-up out there is a special. And so I just want people to see it, dude. It's like I could have probably sold it to like, a streamer. I could have like waited a little longer and like made a deal, whatever. But I just fucking figured, let's put it on YouTube. Like not everyone is familiar with my comedy. I just want people to like just to see what I'm capable of.
That's the way
you
to
know?
maximize with the most amount of people are going to see it, right?
And the way to do that is actually is just like promoting it as much as possible. And
No,
just, like,
I get that.
hopping on shows
I
and
mean,
stuff.
it's funny how many people are like, I do podcasts in order to sell my tickets.
Yes.
But then at one point, I think it kind of flipped where it was like,
Totally.
I have this stand up, and then people go find my podcast, and I'm making millions now, and it's like, which direction are you coming from? I think there's a lot of people who are great podcasters,
Sure.
who probably don't need to be doing specials and stand up comedy, and and so it depends on what you are, and then the people who can do both are obviously where you're at, where it's like this is we heard you say how you hate podcasting, right?
yeah.
But like in a way, that's also allowed you to be like, I'm just gonna put it on YouTube because I don't need the money and all that shit. So I mean,
of course,
I'm so fucking done with podcasts.
Dude, it's not. Here's the thing. I don't hate I actually don't understand my emotions for it. It's like all of my emotions.
Yeah, it's like your sexuality. Yeah, we'll work through it right now together.
A lot of confusion, man. A lot of confusion. You want to lay down?
Talk to us. Talk to us.
But like if someone would say, I'll pay you to talk to Kevin every day. I like that. It's fun to catch up with your friends. Because I don't talk to most my friends who I don't have a podcast with. I don't talk to. Never talk to.
Right.
So it's nice to talk to them. But
it's like I only talk to my friends if we're recording the conversation.
Well, that's exactly right. That's what's weird about it is that it takes this like even our show, right? Even Cum Town, it's like the reason it worked is because we were just comics
fucking around
who we riffed well together. And when we hung out, it was the best time because we're just at a diner and we're just fucking right. But then once you monetize it, it becomes your job.
It's a job.
And then it's like, all the fun, you've taken everything good about your relationship. Now that's the job. And everything else, which you never really cared about. Like it didn't matter how like compatible you guys were about scheduling, like whether you were a night person, morning person, whatever. Like none of that mattered. Whether one of you like to do, it's just like business compatibility. Never. Now it's like there's no correlation between whether you're good at talking to someone and whether you line up on all these other things. No. So then you take the best parts of your relationship and that's just a job. And now you have to focus on all the other bullshit. And it's like becomes fucking annoying. And it takes the special, you basically like take money. You sell your friendship for money. That's what happens. And you don't own it anymore. That's how it works.
The IP of your friendship is gone. That's why every great duo breaks up and every radio show has a fallout because eventually it's like we're not friends anymore. We became business partners, and that always ends up falling apart eventually.
Or even just like spending that much time, and then it's like, or you just want to do something different, right? It's just like, it's just like, even if you're still friends, it's like, well, I don't have to see you fucking twice a week. You know what I mean? Like, I see my mom once a month. You know what I mean? It's been 6 years.
Yeah. See, I don't know. We're good. Me and you, like
we're good.
We've never had like anything. We've been doing it for 10 now.
I also do think there's part of like, and I mean, I did say that thing about hating podcasting, but the truth is like making the rounds has been kind of fun because it's just like I'm just like
going on shows,
doing other shows,
is really fun.
They have the burden of like making it flow and good, and I'm just like,
but your own podcast, and also I think we all kind of jumped into it. No one knew what the fuck was going on. Like we don't ever take breaks, right? Like the way we do our show, and I think like I think it's like the way every human being deserves like fucking vacation time. It's like the same of podcast. Like we feel like we can't take time off, and that's fucking stupid, right?
Stupid.
It's like,
but what's crazy is I would tell you guys, I'd be like, you're nuts. You could take a month off,
exactly,
and they would be so happy when you come back. And then someone says that to me, and I'm like, no, they're gonna find another show, and they'll never listen to us again, and then then it's all over. I mean, we have never stopped. Ever. I'm like, when do we stop? How does this stop? And we just do this until we die?
I'll kill myself.
I was gonna say, John will kill himself.
I'll handle that one.
And then I can retire. Then I can be the hero. Like I can't do it with anybody else, bro. I can't possibly talk to another person ever again. I mean, the like once you have a sales team or clients being like, well, we need segments and we want to sponsor this and a sponsor that, and then it's like, all right, we can do that, but it's funnier when we're just like, yo, that you were molested yesterday.
I mean, this is the body armor molestation repressed memory of the week.
Occasionally they pop up.
It does happen. I mean, we talked to a porn star. We talked to a Bella Danger last year.
Oh yeah, she's great
and lost.
Big fan of her work. Love a schnoz,
dude. Amazing.
Love a nice snaz on a woman for sure.
You know what she's doing? She just got into college. She's going
Good for her.
back to college.
She
I did
was-
an interview
she
with
was
her talking about
surprised.
college.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like how funny it is that because it's not like she's going to classes. She's
Right.
like on campus.
They
And I was like,
know
you
her.
realize how ridiculous
Yeah,
that is,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
She did
was
not
like,
get it.
I never thought of that. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and of course,
Yeah.
she goes to class in like, booty shorts and a fucking
course.
tank top. It's not like she's wearing a robe or anything.
Right.
And guys are obviously like beating off in the corner. And she's like,
100%.
"All right."
Yeah.
But I mean, we lost a major sponsor just because I had a conversation with her.
That's
and I was
wild.
like, fuck that, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it is for me is like, and just like I started doing comedy because like I wanted to do whatever the fuck I wanted. I didn't do
Yeah.
it to be rich and like
Yes.
have a job. Like
Yes.
I was pretty good at school. Like I could have been making money out of it, but I was like, no, money's not important to me. I want freedom. I want to be able to do whatever the fuck I want. And then once even something successful starts feeling like a job or you feel trapped by it, some of the like magic is gone, and that's all psychological shit. That's all like,
But it's,
I
I mean, like, I don't think you can fight it. It is
Totally.
psychological, but I don't
Yeah,
think there's
yeah,
anybody
yeah.
who still has the magic. You know?
But then it's like, and then you go through all. I mean, these, then you go through the other thing of it where it's like, well, it's still a fucking good job. But it's like,
then
at
you get the
same
people
time,
calling
I
up being
just-
like, you want to switch with me? I'm working at the
Of
factory
course.
80
It's like,
hours a week. I'm like,
no.
no, I didn't say that.
yeah.
Let's not be
Of
crazy.
course
I don't,
not.
I don't want to be the canary, but
I don't want to lose my
yeah.
fingers in a meat grinder or anything,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I do also think that every job has its own like burdens. Where it's like I used to love being able to go to work hungover and just
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
stare
yeah.
at a screen and be like, I'm not doing
Oh.
anything today.
I was-
Whereas this is
dude.
like, you do that, you lose your audience.
I was the king of skating by.
Yeah.
Like I was so good at that. I
Yep.
worked at a law firm, and this is one of my jobs before I moved to New York because I needed to save up money. Was I was a paralegal, and I didn't know what the law firm was, and it was like this trashy like Baltimore like fucking
Hell yeah.
suburb fucking office, and I realized pretty quickly that it was a foreclosure law firm. And they were taking people's houses. And I was like, well, I don't want to be a part of this. Like, this is after the housing crisis, which is like people were tricked
Kevin
into
started.
selling. Yeah.
I did. I was working directly with
yeah.
collateralized loans and all that shit.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like 6 months into working, I've seen on CNBC like collateralized debt is the problem. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's
Yikes.
what I do.
Yeah.
And I do poorly.
No, that checks out.
Big time. Big time.
I got there and I was like, well, I don't want to fucking work for these people. And I was like, well, I'll just like stop working and like I'm sure they'll fire me in like 3 or 4 weeks, whatever, by the time they figure it out. And I was just like, in the meantime, I'm gonna go on 2-hour lunches. I'm gonna be the fucking, the life of the office. I'm just shooting the shit with everyone. Everyone loves me because I'm not doing work.
It's office space.
I'm going
You're the
around.
guy. You're
and
the joke
hanging out.
guy. You're the cool guy.
And it took them literally like 6 months to fire me. And I just
Literally, you're not doing anything.
I was not doing. This is when I was starting stand up. Like I was pretty early on in my career. I was like doing open mics. I'm just writing shit. My boss would come by. I would hit the like mouse
Yep.
to get the screensaver, but I wasn't logged in, so it would just be like, oh, my boss come in. It would just be like the login screen. Like I was literally playing like on my cell phone. And it was like I didn't have an office. I had cubicles out in the open. It was so completely disrespectful. I was begging to get fired, and they just wouldn't do it. And honestly, there is part of me that's like, it would be fun to see what scams I'd be capable of.
Oh yeah,
if
'Cause I do
if
feel
shit
like
didn't work.
I scare myself sometimes with just like casual lying and the ability to like
because I am
fucking
lazy.
deceive and
it's
like like that's when you really put your laziness to the test. You know what I realized is like especially if you work for a bigger place, they gotta have all their ducks in a row before they fire.
That's
somebody.
what happened.
So I did the same thing. I was begging them to fire me. They were like, hey, how about we transfer you to another department where you'll thrive better? And I was like, no, because I had Barstool kind of lined up. And they're like, what do you mean no? And I was like, I'm good. And they're like, that means we're going to fire you. I was like, but then I started thinking about all of the people who got fired before me. And I was like, boy, you guys must have really sucked.
Well, but
because they're trying to fire me and they can't.
Yeah.
And you got the boot immediately.
Well, it's because like there's a certain kind of like what does not get like someone working too hard is a bigger mistake than
Yes.
someone not working hard enough in a corporate environment.
Nobody respects you. Everybody takes advantage of you.
And the bosses are worried you're going to make them look bad, and the people that you're like, well, their boss will see. Their boss doesn't give a fuck. Their boss is trying to figure out how to fucking embezzle money.
Yeah.
They don't
Big guy,
fucking-
rich guy shit.
which literally happened at that law firm, by the way. I think one of the partners literally blew his brains out because they got caught. They got caught just stealing from the firm. It was such a fucking mess.
Dude,
that
what
place.
a lame way to kill yourself. Like,
Yeah.
Blowing your brain out?
no,
because of
just like
embezzlement?
you got caught stealing from a firm. Like, was it a major firm?
No, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
sure. I feel like he was probably these guys. Like I said, these guys were fucking. They're just like it was a joke of a. They didn't even know how to be white collar criminal. Like you're not even going to real jail, dude.
Right? I was
No,
gonna say,
like you're not.
Go hang out for a couple months and come home. Don't kill yourself.
yeah.
Christ almighty.
But anyway, yeah, it was just like that was a fucking. That was a hilarious time in my life. I did love, and that's the other thing is like when, and then I'm sure when like starting Barstool and all this shit was your passion. It's like that's an exciting time. Right? Like that's how I felt too at that
wish.
time. It's
Dude,
like
that's
you
the
know,
worst thing about it is that like I know for a fact. That is probably what if we unpack more stuff. Depression.
Yeah, I love it.
Like I'll never be as happy as I
Right.
was.
That
when we made, like,
you're chasing the high. You're
fucking
chasing the dragon.
500 I think it was
Yeah.
$500 a month when we started. Like
I
it
love it.
was
The best.
fucking. And at the time, I was happy, but I wasn't.
You didn't.
Like,
You didn't realize. You never know
Yeah,
during the
right.
good
You
times.
don't
There's the
know.
good times.
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
I mean, that's the same way. I like my last year in Baltimore is probably the happiest year of my life so far because it was like. I was like, you're the best comic in a small city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Big
like
fish, small pond's
big
awesome.
fish, small pond. It was the first time in my life I was getting pussy because I believed in myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I had a college girlfriend, and that's the only person I had fucked. And then I live in Baltimore, and then I'm just going hard, working, saving up, living at home, and then I move in with my buddies, and it's like I'm finally getting sucked off. You know what I mean? and it's like
From your buddies?
they were yeah. We were just like it was such a bro household. It was fucking it was just, and I worked at a paint store making $10 an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just like it was just fucking great. It was a great time, and I like just hungover, always going to work like feeling like shit. All I cared about was comedy.
Yeah.
And it was just fucking and again, I was so poor I would eat like eggs and beans. Like that was my go-to meal was like I would bake the eggs and beans. Yeah, and I would bake them.
That's fucking
Mine
Danny
was
DeVito.
tomato
That's
soup.
Charlie and Frank on Sunday right there.
And I would just make fucking like literally pans of it and just like fucking eat eggs and beans because it was like the cheapest
What's
shit
worse,
to have.
eggs and beans or
I would do tomato soup
with
and I would melt cheese in it to make it a little
slice of
thicker.
Kraft single?
Yeah. That's like a deconstructed tomato soup and grilled cheese situation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's missing the bread.
Yeah. Couldn't afford the bread. Low carb.
That shit is like,
but yeah.
but if you talk, if someone's listening to this right now and they're in that, they're the ones going like, I can barely make my rent, dude. I'm grinding,
See,
I'm struggling.
I don't know. I guess I did feel really. That's the other thing.
You were happy,
At
you
the
knew it?
time, I was like, this fucking rocks.
Yeah.
I just assumed it would just be like
Go forever.
Like you would get happier.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I mean?
what-
Like,
that's what it is.
And that's like oh no. Like
Yeah.
I'm not. Everything sucks.
I figured that every
Life sucks.
like,
People you love will start dying.
yeah.
Every woman you've ever loved will be with another man who treats her better.
Who doesn't have the issues you have?
Yeah. You're gonna figure out every mistake you've made 7 years too late. Like it's like, and now it's like
I
figure it out.
I feel like half the reason I do the podcast is to be like Billy Madison, where I'm like,
Yeah,
don't do
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I tell him like work does suck. That's not like a cliche. Moving in and trying to get married is fucking hard. Buying a house and going to the burbs fucking sucks. These
Yeah.
are not. I'm saying it for a reason, and then everybody just does
totally.
it. The amount of people I have come up to me and go like, "Man, I'm like 10 years younger than you. I started listening to you, and like I thought like that was a joke, and I thought this was fake, and I thought that you were exaggerating, and then I did it, and it was real. I was like, I tried to fucking tell you.
No, just life sucks.
Yeah,
that's-
life is
that
hard.
shit is real, man. Life
fucking
is
hard.
fucking hard.
But whatever. It's like it's like figuring out your basic problems helps so much, and then it's like, and now I feel like I don't know how you guys feel, but it's like shit was, and also I think everyone's life was horrible. This has been such a weird stretch for everyone, like the pandemic to here, whatever. But I feel pretty good now. Like I feel like got the special. I was on the road for 9 months.
You're good, dude.
9 months in a
You're
row,
good.
and it was just
9
like
months on the road.
dude, it's been wild. I have 2 more weekends, and it's like I can't wait. I'm taking the whole
When
summer
you
off.
say that, you mean like you do not go home, or you're just always
It's a
bouncing
mix.
back
So
and
it's
forth?
like the longest I've been home, like since. So it started in August, and the longest I've been home, if you don't count the 2 times I got COVID, and the Christmas I was here for a week. But other than that, I haven't been home for longer than like 4 days at a time.
Yeah.
And there's
Serious
been
boom,
stretches
boom,
where
boom,
I've been
boom.
gone 9 weeks, or stretches where I've been gone 5 weeks. Like
Just
that,
straight hotels, or you have like
just
family in places. And
hotels, Airbnbs. Like when I was on the
Yeah.
West Coast, I just kept going back to LA instead of like flying back to New York. Like
Right.
I was going LA to Seattle, LA whatever, Vancouver, San Diego, all that kind of shit.
Jesus.
So, and I can't wait to fucking be done with it. And then it's like, I think you learn all those lessons, and like, it's just like, well, let me just fucking. We are lucky, right? Like guys like us are hysterically lucky. Like way too much of everything for what we do, right? like way too,
1,000%.
way. And so
Just
it's like
decadence for no reason.
and then I'm kind of thinking like, well, then let's fucking figure out what will make you happy within those parameters,
Yeah,
right? Where
yeah.
it's like, so I'm excited, dude. Like the special is part of it. Working on
What do
new
you think would
material
make
is
you
part
happy
of
with
it.
special?
What do you got?
Well, working on you like different like, so I've been touring a brand new hour. Like it's not ready by any stretch of the imagination, but it's 45 new minutes. It's not on the special, and then it's just like like creative stuff that kind of like interests me. Like I want to act more. I want to like write stuff, and it's like stuff that's in your wheelhouse. But like part of what was fun in the beginning, at least for me with comedy, and I'm sure for like covering sports, blogging, podcasting, whatever it was for you guys, is like figuring it out is kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
Getting good
Oh,
at
yeah,
something is
definitely.
fucking very rewarding.
Right.
And like that's a basic human thing. Like that's why people take up hobbies and shit like that. So it's like, I just want to like, I'm taking the whole summer off, and I'm not doing comedy. I'm just like I'm gonna get.
Are you taking Cum Town off?
Yeah, we'll probably pre-record a bunch of them and that kind
Yeah.
of thing, and just
No
like,
shit.
I'm 2
you're
months.
my goddamn fucking hero.
2 months, and it's just like
should
I'm not
just
doing
do it.
shit. You should,
just
dude.
do it.
You really should.
Nick jumped up. I was like,
I've been pushing this.
Yeah.
A few weeks
I
now.
don't-
Yeah.
Yeah.
One-
This
one-
man's barely hanging on. I can tell. he's about to collapse.
One day, somebody's gonna make the switch where like podcasting is gonna be like television, where it's like you have an off season,
exactly,
and then you have a premiere and a
Yeah,
finale.
yeah,
and people
yeah,
get excited
yeah.
for it and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah.
And in the meantime, you can find some new shows, but that doesn't mean you abandon all your old shows.
Totally.
But there is a fear of like, I think because it's like this is kind of too good to be true, and I don't want it to go away. As much as it's hard and a problem, blah, blah, blah,
100%.
if it goes away, I'll feel like such an asshole, so I can't risk it. But yeah, that feeling is.
See, there's also a part of me that's like, remember in The Wire when Marlo, he just wins a corner. But it's like the end of you guys Wire guys. Anyway, Kingpin. Oh, I haven't seen it. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You
Neither
got to
of us
see
I
it.
couldn't get through season 2.
Oh, that's wild.
The docs.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I tried during
that was my neighborhood.
quarantine.
Season 2 was my neighborhood.
Like
Yeah,
heavy
yeah, yeah.
quarantine. I tried to. I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't.
I
I
did
love
like-
We Own the City.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually haven't seen that one yet. But anyway, so the point I'm trying to make is like he's like the Kingpin. I think it's season 4, and but he's like he's got everything he's ever wanted, but then he just goes out onto a random corner, accosts these kids who have no idea who they are. Like these are young, hungry kids that are in like we're in the poverty.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it, and he just like takes the corner from them, like shoots a kid, beats the fuck out of, and just he's the fucking man. He's like the top of the operation. No support, no nothing, just wants to win it on his own merit again.
Yeah.
And there's part of me that's like, that's kind of fun. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
take everything.
Killing kids.
Yeah. I want to go do
Let's snuff
violence in
out these
Baltimore. I want to go back home and contribute to the violence.
I think there's something about winning and like
Just feel
Like,
like, you're,
as like a
Why it's
sports
become
fan,
such
I
like
do-
a corporate term. Like we're gonna win.
Yeah. I
What
do
you mean?
hate
We're gonna
that.
make more money. What is
it's,
that?
it's just like being like, yeah, it's like the advantage of doing something where it's like people just, like this existing, right? Like you guys ending up here is hysterical, right? Like like Midtown Manhattan, insane,
Ridiculous.
crazy. Like same thing with like the amount of money we make on our podcast. It's like, but once you get here, it's kind of hard to fuck it up. Is the truth?
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
like you could just kind of be. You could believe me. We try. We've been making a bad show for years, and there's a thing about inertia, and there would be something cool where it's like. You're probably going to fail, and then succeeding off that, that would feel fucking sick. You know
wanna
what I
just
mean?
feel something.
Starting over completely, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I've always said that with like I wish, and I'm sure there are corporate people who will hear this and wish I didn't say it out loud, but like I wish this fucking tanked.
Yeah.
And we went back to Milton.
Yeah. Give it a couple
Well,
years.
I know.
Yeah, hogs get fat.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
pigs
yeah.
get fat. Hogs get slaughtered,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
We're well on our way.
Yeah.
We got another summer before we're home.
yeah.
We're making our own face creams now. Like, we're about done.
I love it.
It's so true. It's like, why are we making any of this shit? Why are we partnering with these people? What's happening? But it does feel
Excuse me,
like
do you want a Barstool face scrub?
Yeah. That's awesome. That's for 8 guys. It's like 8 deeply closeted men. Just a guy trying to connect with his father. Just this poor gay kid who's like, I love sport. Barstool's cool, Dad. I bought a scrub. Yeah.
By the way, I use it. I like it.
I mean, it feels like you need. It's like some Batman shit. Like when Gotham gets too big, and you need to like tear it down and start over. Because I mean, eventually things collapse, but it almost feels like you need to like pull the plug because it doesn't. Like it's just like people keep listening, people keep paying. People
I mean, don't get me wrong.
like
I will be cashing those checks as long as I
long as they keep
possibly
coming.
can.
Yeah,
Yeah. But the other thing is like if you just plan your life a certain way, it's like let's. My point, I guess, my larger point was like let's take advantage of this shit and instead of being like mopey about because it is we won the lottery,
do cool shit,
right?
Yeah,
It's like
do cool shit with
fucking, take some vacation time and fucking keep your mental health okay and then have a good time.
You think there's anybody who's doing that right now?
You know who the guy who.
Like in general, doesn't have to be comedy shit. Like
well,
life.
Ari Shaffir is the guy who was doing that first, and it was like he would just fucking
go to
disappear.
like South America for like
he's
a month.
in Thailand.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
no
He
phone,
was-
no nothing.
We had it been like 2 weeks ago, last week maybe, and I was honestly thinking earlier in the interview, I was like, you kind of remind me of Ari a little bit.
Yeah. Well, dude, to be completely like, and I think this is part of it is pandemic. I think a lot of comedians like we got scared because like touring was gone.
Sure.
So like I would never be on the road this long if I didn't feel like I had to make up for a lost year. I think a lot of comedians did that. And a lot of them are just like fucking. Let's take a break. Like we're too burned out.
If
and
Tom
Ari just
Segura
did
ever
that.
does comedy after his tour that he's on right now, it's
crazy.
I mean, he should never do it again.
It's
he's
insane.
doing like 1,000 nights. It's like,
yeah.
This is inhuman, man. But
Yeah.
it's like get it while you can. And
But it's also like that's the other cool thing about like that's to say not comedy is also interesting because it's like fucking how long did Kendrick Lamar take between albums?
Yeah,
But I'm
right,
not
right.
Kendrick Lamar. I'm not saying that, but
Sure.
it's like there's definitely like you also there's nothing wrong with like especially with comedy where it's like part of it is you got to live a life. You got to have some experiences to
talk about.
about. 'cause
otherwise,
like-
it's just this.
Yeah.
You know?
When I was like, you don't want nobody wants to hear bits about fucking how much you don't like podcasting.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, people turned us off 45 minutes ago.
Yeah. Oh, we've started.
I did that. That's why when the pandemic, when like the hardcore lockdown quarantine
Oh,
happened,
the best, by the way, the best.
when-
I love that life. Can live that life forever.
See, I hated it,
Yeah,
and because like I never left my room, and I was like, I don't have anything to talk about. Like I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know
Well,
what
podcasting-
we podcast
oh,
about. 'cause
sure.
I have-
Podcasting was hard.
I don't
but just
have a
enjoyment
show
of
to
life
tell you.
is-
Like, I have
yeah.
nothing going on.
Well, I enjoyed it for the reason of like, well, everyone's doing nothing, so it's
Yeah.
cool.
That's what I am like a big homebody. I like to chill, but I'm always like, oh man, like the people who I see on Instagram are traveling and doing cool things. I'm like, oh fuck, I should be doing that. But when nobody's doing that,
Yeah.
can't feel bad about yourself.
Exactly.
I love a rainy day, bro.
Dude, 100%, nothing better than that.
I love a rainy day. I don't love
Rainy
3
life.
months of monsoon.
Yeah.
To each their own. Wait,
Don't live
man.
don't live in Thailand, I guess.
I live in Tallahassee. It was close.
Oh yeah. Brutal.
What's the worst place you've seen on the road?
I've been lucky to not have to do anything that's super dog shit. I was a little bamboozled when I went to Vancouver because Vancouver's an insane city. Love it. Like, I love big city. I'm a big city guy.
Yeah.
But the club was just straight up 40 minutes outside of Vancouver. It was just
Yeah,
like
that's bullshit.
in the Jersey of Vancouver. You know what I mean? It was just like I was just near Vancouver. I wasn't in
Right.
it. Which is fine, but it was just like imagine just like it's like thing you're gonna do in New York City, and then you do fucking fucking Rockland County. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
the
You know
West
what I mean?
Nyack
Like,
Improv.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You think,
yeah.
yes, Levity Live, which is a great club. I like it, but it's like,
It's not New
if
York
you
City.
thought you were gonna be in New York City and you're fucking just hanging out at that mall, going ice skating inside, you'd be fucking
Yeah,
pissed.
they the roller coaster
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Come on, carousel. Come on.
Yeah, you're right. They got a lot of stores.
Yeah, maybe I was play it against sports downstairs.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah. Love Play It Again. My brief lacrosse phase. I got my stuff there. From Play It Again.
Dude,
Yeah,
I remember
got my
I threw a
pads.
fucking piss fit one. I was like 9. My parents I played hockey, so like hockey
Yeah.
skates were. Now they're over $1,000, but
That's
at the time
Jesus.
they were like $400,
Right.
Which is still crazy expensive.
Yeah.
My parents were like, we don't know if you're gonna like it. Like you're getting them at Play Against Sports. And I was like, are you? I was a little proud. Are you kidding me?
Skates.
You think I'm getting in fucking skates someone else wore? I got him.
What a little piece of shit.
Do you know
That's why you got molested.
Yeah. So I'm sucking Uncle Frank's cock for nothing? He can't chip in a couple $100? Yeah, that's tough, bro.
You played lacrosse growing up?
I mean, I was just like, I played.
I don't feel like many people look at you and think lacrosse.
Yeah. I played
doubt
one
that's-
season of lacrosse. My coach was fucking annoying, so I quit. But it was like, I grew up in Baltimore.
Yes,
There's
that's
lacrosse
the
is
craze.
huge over
Yeah.
there, and it's like, I mean, I was more obviously soccer. My dad played soccer in Greece, and we played soccer, growing up our whole lives. And then I always wanted to play football, and then I played a couple seasons of football. I wrestled a little bit. I played a bunch of like Greek church. You want to talk about low-level basketball? I played in the Greek Orthodox Youth of America League, which a lot of bounce passes, a lot of boxing out, a lot of fundamentals going on at the Greek Orthodox Youth of America tournaments.
Mike and drills for
Yeah.
I thought CYO was the bottom of the barrel.
Greek Orthodox might be.
Yeah, there were some good games. We had some good because some of the guys took it really seriously, and that's the other thing about Greek kids is like. Half of the kids I grew up with were like grown men at 16 because they were just like running their father's carryouts. They had like dropped out of school. They had like Nextels.
do the family business.
Yeah. They were just like,
Nextel, I love 'em.
No, they were just like, and they fucking had half of them already had beards when they were 11 anyway.
Yeah.
So some of the like high level games were actually pretty good, and they would like people would bring in ringers. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And it was
Yeah.
So it was fun because like people just got competitive, but. My fucking games when I was on the shittier, I didn't stick around long enough to be on like the senior team, so it was just like JV Greek Orthodox Youth of America. Those
Even
are bad
worse.
games.
Yeah.
Those are fucking bad games.
Dude, I played at such a low level. I did CYO like maybe until middle school, and I was a corner 3 guy.
Nice.
That's all I could do. Right?
Mr. fucking Analytics. Yeah, you knew.
And I would do. I had the dolphin shot.
The hell yeah.
Oh no!
And when it hit, which was exceptionally rarely.
Yeah.
When it hit, the crowd being
Yeah.
A couple parents.
the 6 parents
They
who
went
absolutely
wild.
love their kids
Yeah.
would clap, and I would be so proud of myself that I would laugh running back
Yeah,
to the class.
yeah.
That's how rare it happened.
Yeah. Oh, I remember too being so stoked. My mom came one time. She videotaped like one of our games, and I actually was just. I played fucking sick, and when you're like a little kid, in your mind you're like, I'm Jordan, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
of course.
And I like fucking I blocked the fuck out of this kid, and I'm like, dude, I gotta see that. That's awesome. And
you
it was
see it?
It was the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. It was just like some fucking kid waddling over to a kid who was 4'2" and just being like, barely getting it. You know what I mean? But I felt like Matumbo when it happened. And you just can't. If you never let your children see their highlights. It's just like, whatever's in their heads is so much better.
So
than
much
reality.
better. That is that. Whatever's going on up here
Yeah.
is much better than what's out here. That's like when the Legion of Skanks and Gillis and them played basketball. The footage of that was like,
yeah.
let's never do this
Well,
again.
that's a sore subject for me. I tore my plantar fascia at the Skanks Fest podcasters basketball tournament, so I can't
Talk
so,
about
yeah.
not fucking worth it.
Dude, not worth it at all. I didn't want to do
that's
it.
bad, right?
I didn't want to do it. Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah,
I
like
was
that's
fucked.
like you need do surgery and all that shit. Or you can just
I
let it
could
heal?
have
Because the surgery is actually they cut it.
They cut it.
so
and it heals.
you can
So
kind of just leave it.
Yes, I could have done it, but it was just like they were like, just take like fucking 6 weeks completely off. They were just like, don't even move it.
All
I
to play
basically-
ball against,
for
Lewis and
nothing.
Jay.
For nothing, for no reason. Something I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
It's something I was like, this is fucking annoying. Like, I can't believe I have to do this before the shows.
Yeah.
Didn't get to do the shows. There was some girl with a big fake ass was in my DMs. Some Skanks fan. You know that I would have fucked her
1,000%.
easily. You know what I mean?
You're icing your foot at
I don't
home.
get to do that. Now I'm
Sorry, the
icing.
doc's like, I gotta take 6 weeks
yeah,
off.
yeah. And it fucking, it was
Were you
kind of
just
like,
like running down the court and like it popped? You were just like, ah.
yeah, I don't even remember. I think it was just
Yeah.
just a pop, and I heard the pop. It was awful, dude. And it was so I'm just like, which sucks because it's like I do love playing hoops, but it's like
I retired
another
a
part
long
of your
time ago.
mortality is just like. Fucking, I told myself I have to lose like 100 pounds to play basketball again because my fucking joints will explode.
Absolutely.
The
They
bottom of
can't
my
handle
foot
it.
exploded.
Yeah.
When the last time I tried to play basketball.
That's not just like, that wasn't just by chance. That was like
Yeah.
physics.
It was tough. It was tough.
I have a rule, like I don't leave the ground anymore. I don't jump off of things.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
run
yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
I mean, I see people who are my age and in shape who are like, I blew out of this, I
Yeah,
tore that.
yeah.
Like, me,
Sucks,
forget
man.
it, dude.
Yeah. Although part of what I'm excited about is like getting into the fucking dojo and just like fucking working out and just like because that's fun too. Like part of like what we were talking about earlier is like getting good at something's fun, but when you make progress, it just feels good. Like
Yeah.
even like lifting weights, like because like the road life is just ridiculous. It's just like I'm fucked up all the time. I'm eating like shit.
Yeah.
Just like you can't. You're all constantly on planes. It's just like it's so bad for your fucking body.
Right.
So just like feeling like an okay human being is just like, and maybe being able to like, maybe I'll shoot some free throws. Like
Right.
maybe I'll go
Do
like,
something like, just shoot a jumper
'cause
and-
I do love, dude. I like it's so funny how much of your life when you're a fucking kid is sports. Like
Everything.
Everything
Everything
It's
you
like,
talk about, like you do
you
it, but also
dream
it's like
about it.
all I watch, all I talk about, all I
Exactly.
think about. I know every player, every stat,
Yeah.
everything. Now it's like,
and it's completely gone, right? It's like now your fucking life it's just gone, which is it's too extreme, right?
Yeah.
To like completely miss it. And there's something almost just like therapeutic about that shit. You know what I mean?
You know
Just
what?
like-
Danny Lopriori had a good idea on his new podcast. He called it the Catch Club.
Okay.
Where it's just you meet up with a guy who wants to have a catch. We're not gonna play softball. It's not gonna be a full team. It's just like I got a glove and a ball. You got a glove and a ball. We'll meet. I guess I haven't thought about the logistics of how
Yeah.
weird it is
Straight
to meet
grinder.
a stranger in a fucking yeah.
Grinder.
Sounds great. Like meet me in the back alley and we'll play the balls.
Yeah.
But like that's kind of what I want to do is like just have a catch.
Yeah,
but then
yeah,
I was
yeah.
also like, why don't I just ask my friends then? Like,
Yeah,
why don't we
yeah,
just go have a
yeah,
catch?
yeah.
We wouldn't do that. But if there was an app and a thing and people wanted to do it, I'd be like, all right, I can
Yeah,
do this.
yeah, yeah.
But that's like shooting free throws. It's like I just want to do something tangentially related to
Yeah.
Even
sports I
free
used to
throws is
play.
too much because you gotta chase the ball.
You gotta get the ball. You gotta bend down. You gotta pick it
my
up.
dream is to have one of those
Those
rebounders.
things.
Yeah.
The ones that pop out to
Yes,
you. That's
dude.
awesome,
That's
dude.
the fucking
That's the shit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend who I took home. The first time she ever met my family was Easter 5 years ago, something like that, right? And during Easter, my brother was like, "Do you want to go have a catch?" And like, that's not something he asked me. It's not something we do.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, I do."
Yeah.
So we went outside and we were just throwing the ball back and forth for like an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah.
Your arm never worked again after
And,
that. I
and,
bet.
and she was
Jesus
just
Christ.
like, she came out. She was like, "What are you
You
doing?"
just left her. You left her inside to defend for herself. Wow, that's hilarious.
Yeah, you should have come out here and had a catch with us, bitch. I don't know. It's your fault.
Playing catch.
Yeah.
She's like, I've been inside with your family for an hour and a
That's
half.
brutal, dude. Just making her make small talk with your aunts while you're just fucking tossing. You're like trying to get
That
a
is-
good spiral going.
That's the most
Trying
disrespectful
to throw a
thing.
curve for the first
Yeah.
time. Like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna get a 12-6 going.
I'm shocked she didn't just get an Uber and leave.
Leave?
Yeah.
She's from Jersey. We were in Massachusetts.
Okay.
Bro,
Yeah.
that is honestly
Go anywhere.
that's the most disrespectful thing I've ever heard.
That's
Someone
brutal.
doing a relationship.
I just got lost in the cat.
in the jet,
It's
man.
intoxicating.
Lost, yeah, that back and forth just
Yeah.
lulls you, man. Yeah, but
Yeah.
then I mean, of course, I was saying I was like, I'll do this with you, Danny, and then in 4 minutes I'll be like,
Of course.
I gotta go
Oh, my
ice.
shoulder's
Gotta
so
ice it
fucked.
down. I can't. I mean, I'd have to throw a sidearm. I can't throw over.
Yeah,
done,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely done at this point.
No, I'm
you
cooked.
used to work for the Knicks or MSG?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
So Sam Moreau, my buddy Sam, he was hosting a show called People Talking Sports, and it was such a fucking shoestring operation that they brought me in to guest on a couple, and I
Never left?
I just was like, I just showed that I was good at it, and I was just like, And the whole writing staff was like, it was Sam, Anthony DeVito, another hilarious comic, and me. And we were on the show and we wrote the show, and it was 4 shows a week.
Yeah.
So it was
That's
like
just no joke.
topical jokes, and it was like really fun.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, you're making a TV show with your friends, but the like everything people say about the Knicks as a basketball organization
10 times worse
extends
as a
to their
program.
media brand for sure. It was like
Yeah.
we were making dog shit money for literally being 3 guys who wrote an entire TV show.
Yeah, like that's a lot of work for, I'm sure, very little money and very little like prestige.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. It was like I think we were nominated for a local Emmy, which is hilarious. But
Everybody wins Emmys,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah. But it's like no one gives a fuck. It was. And they edited the shit out of it, and it's like it's a comedy show. It's
Right,
like
right.
you can't have guys who make like Rangers highlights like edit your comedy show.
Yeah.
They're not gonna understand the nuance. I mean,
Right.
some of these jokes, the way they edited it was like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
You lost the entire joke. You
Yeah.
took the whole thing out.
And
yeah.
they it was like they would say they give such hilarious notes where it was like they hired 3 comedians. They were like, a little too many jokes. Let's focus on the sports. It's like, then fucking bring Wally Zerbiak in here. What the fuck am I doing? What do you want me to say about the fucking, like, I can say it, but it's like, but it was cool because we did get to meet a shit ton of like,
Yeah, I'm sure.
awesome, like, Zerbiak being one of them. I love
Yeah.
Wally.
Are you a Wizards fan?
No, I mean Baltimore and DC. It's just too different. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
I
So
can't. I can't do that.
Do you have a team then?
I grew up just kind of like a free agent. Just
Yeah.
like I would follow different. I was a big Kings. The Vladi Kings,
Baby
7
Kings,
seconds
yeah.
or less Suns. I weirdly really like the Clipper, like the
Lob City?
Yeah, not what Lob City, the fucking D Miles Clipper, just like just like those fucking they sucked, but they were just so fun.
Like
Yeah.
bad team.
They were awesome. Yeah, they were the one bad team that had my heart, but it's like and then once Giannis came into the league, he's my number
Yeah,
one. Like
sure.
I
mean, he's got to be like an icon.
it's
right?
unbelievable.
Back home, right?
It's
Like,
unbelievable.
I mean,
yeah.
the stories that they told about him too were like he was sending all his money back home and like there was some, I don't know if
The
it's public or
smoothie.
not, but there was
Oh yeah, he had to
was
get
running
a ride.
alongside,
Yeah,
running
to
to the stadium
because he
and 'cause he
fucking
had to get
wired
the
all his
wire-
money.
yeah,
Yeah.
Western
No,
Union
he's
back
the
home. It's
king.
like-
I mean, and it's great to fucking see a bunch of dumb racist Greeks have to really be like,
for a black guy.
all right, all right. You guys, I guess you guys are right. They deserve basic human respect, and it's just like so fucking funny to just see these fucking assholes. And then the ones that are too race to root for him, I love it because it's like we have the best basketball player in the world, and you fucking idiots think like he's not. You think you're superior
You're better
to
than him. Look at this man.
Yeah.
He's no Brian Scalabrine.
Yeah. Just some fat racist, some guy shaped exactly like me, honest. Somebody looks exactly like me, saying that he's, like a distant cousin somewhere, being like, nah.
Not him. He's not the one.
We're group real Greek. You know what I mean? Like, just bullshit. So, but no, Giannis is the fucking best. And when I moved here, I was like, fuck it. I don't have a hometown team. Like, if Baltimore, my dream of dreams that will never happen is Baltimore getting an NBA franchise. Just won't happen. The Wizards barely fucking fill their arena.
Yeah.
Baltimore loves the Ravens. We love the Orioles. All that kind of shit. There's no way we're going to be a 3-sport team in our region, but a 3-sport city. But that would be my dream. But so I figured, like, I'm moving here. I love New York. I don't really want to go anywhere, in perpetuity. So it's like, so when I got here, the Porzingis year, that's when, and I was like,
Things are on the up, you thought?
and I was like, you know what, fuck it. This is like my, and that is still how I feel, where it's like the Knicks are my, like, like Giannis is just, I'll follow him where, until the end of his career, he's my number one. But it's like, I follow the Knicks. I watch a lot of Knicks games. I want them to win, but, it's been
It's just
fucking
gonna be
brutal.
Sam-
Sam
Just
doesn't
don't.
turn you off to that?
No, I love. I mean, it is tough because he's so out of his mind, and we also do a basketball podcast, which is like it's been tough because we've both luckily been really busy, and Sam's like taking a little time off it, but we do a podcast called Pod Don't Lie that's really fun, And I am a Knicks fan, but it's like he is so deranged that it's like it forces me to have to bust his balls.
Yeah.
where it's like,
You
come
get
on,
a
man.
lifelong New York City Jew who likes the Knicks,
dude.
and they are not going to
Manhattan.
see it,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, they
You
are
should hear-
blinded, man.
Oh, you should hear I talk.
We're one piece away, man. Like, we get Derrick Rose back. We're going to win the title.
Julius
Like,
just needs a little help.
right.
It's like, come on,
Like,
man.
I mean, we crowned Kevin Knox, we crowned
Yeah,
Mitchell
yeah, yeah.
Robinson,
Oh,
we
yeah.
crown everybody. It's
Yeah.
like these guys all stink.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, they're okay players, but in the NBA, you need Hall of Famers to
Yeah,
play in
totally,
order to win.
totally.
It's like it's.
I do think RJ is going to be good, and I think he showed like he's been a late starter, he's got kind of a late
Like
to get
bloomer,
going.
sorta, yeah.
He's a second half player, which a lot of like that happens a lot with young guys that end up being pretty good. I mean, the Nuggets were a real fucking second half team for Jokic. I mean, part of that I think is playing yourself into shape and shit, but.
Right.
I believe in
Once you put
RJ.
that
I think
full
he's a good pick and shit, but like
No, he is, but it's just like that.
Yeah.
You know, like I was a diehard Knicks fan when I was growing up, and then I just that 15 years of futility turned me off, and so now I'm casually watching, and I think the diehard fans are too in it. Where I was kind of like, I don't think Julius Randle's worth max money, guys,
know.
and they're like, we talking about 25 and 12, and I was like, we'll see, and then like you see what happens. It's like, you need like a pure fucking megastar to turn this shit around, and it's not going to be Julius Randle.
I think that year was actually bad in the
Yes,
long run.
it
And
was.
At the
It gave you a little bit of false hope.
At the time, I was saying that, but it was. I will say that was a really fun year of podcasting with Sam because it was
Yeah,
like
there was something
every
there.
week I was like, "Bro, it's gonna fucking fall apart. Relax."
Yeah.
And he was right. Like
Yeah, it
they
didn't.
got, and I saw him enjoy it,
Yeah.
and I saw what it meant to him. And I actually went to the game when the Hawks. When the one game the Knicks won, where the Hawks. Honestly, I was there. The Hawks just kind of fucking went cold.
Yeah.
But it was still fucking exhilarating
Yeah.
to be an MSG.
I mean, when the
and
Garden
a
is popping,
fucking
dude,
playoff
it is the
win
best.
Was
and
a
then
fucking great feeling.
I mean, everyone went crazy with Bing Bong, and now it became ping pong. And
That
it's like,
was
the
the
problem.
problem.
Is it's passionate, but they get so hot so quick
Yeah.
that when they fall, you're the butt of like every
of
NBA
course,
joke,
of
But
course.
it's like I'd rather have a passionate fan base than that. That's why someone along the way eventually is gonna take on the challenge.
Yeah.
Like if I was a guy like Giannis, I'd be like, I've done it in Milwaukee. Like I'm already done what I need to do. Let me go take on like the biggest challenge because if I do it, I will be an immortal.
Well, I just
but
think-
it takes somebody who's a little bit like awesome and a little bit crazy to want to subject themselves.
I
to that.
also think it's like what we were talking about like just the way you want to live your life and being happy and shit.
Yeah.
I also think the problem is with this I mean, like I said, I was an MSG employee. I saw the culture around there.
not great.
That's not
That's
a
why
fucking organization you want to be a part
Dude,
of.
that's why until Dolan goes, it's not even.
And it's like, dude, these motherfuckers have to go to Westchester.
Yeah.
To fucking put up
Practice.
threes.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Right, that's
It's like
crazy.
no
Wait,
one's
that's
gonna.
where they
Yeah,
practice?
they don't
Yeah.
have a fucking
There's no
facility
facility
in
in
Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Like
Yeah.
just that is crazy.
I remember I used
I
to go
didn't
to
know that.
I used to go to
yeah.
bars up on this is a place called White Plains. There's like a strip of bars, and it was Channing Frye and David Lee were like at the same bar as me. Because they practiced down the block. And don't get me wrong, they were so disrespectful to the place. They were throwing
course.
limes at bartenders.
Yeah.
Get over here, honey. Like they
Yeah.
owned the joint but it was like, yeah, if I'm with you,
Yeah.
there's a problem.
We got a real big issue.
Right.
And so, and I like sometimes I think like imagine if Ballmer owned the Knicks, it would be the best
Well,
team.
the Mets just did it with Cohen.
Exactly.
You get a baller who
Yeah.
who was willing to like take a bath to just fucking get them
Yeah.
good again.
Yeah.
And it can change
and
like
by
that.
the way, it's like, what the fuck are you a billionaire for? Anyway?
if you're not gonna, yeah,
like,
yeah.
come on,
Dude,
you
that's
fucking
it. It's always the
loser.
sun.
Physically
It's
impossible
always-
to spend all your money.
Yeah, exactly.
Try it on Francisco
Yeah.
Lindor.
But
Try
give
it on
us-
a bunch
right.
of players.
Right.
Exactly.
But it's
Get-
always the son who inherits the father's work. That Wilpons did it with the
Yep,
Mets.
yep.
Dolan's doing it with the Knicks, and I bet you in all walks of life, it's the guy who like
100%.
never worked for it, who just gets it, who's like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
and it's like just stay out of it or
Yeah.
fucking sell
Kendall
it.
Roy's, a bunch of Kendall
Yes,
Roy's.
that's exactly
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It. All right, you got a little bit of time to answer the internet.
Let's
We'll
do
go
it.
next door.
Let's do it.
The special is June 5th.
June 5th.
On YouTube.
On YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Subscribe there. Just my name, Stavros Halkias. Yeah, just fucking, I put a lot of effort in my YouTube channel. Not only is it special, but there's a new clip every day and longer clips twice or three times
Growing
a
to
week.
YouTube's a motherfucker, man.
Yeah,
is.
but I'm enjoying it, man. And go see the special. It's really good. I worked real hard on it, and that's tell your friends about it if you enjoyed this.
You are one of my favorite comedians.
Oh, thank you, bro.
And the crowd
appreciate
work
it.
is out of control.
I
Thank you,
genuinely
thank you.
mean
The
that.
crowd
and,
work is really amazing.
It's the Instagram algorithm acknowledges that.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
are all I see
Everywhere,
on
bro.
I'm
Instagram.
trying,
You
man.
got crowd members too that are just you're like, hey, what's going on tonight? And people are like, I'm fucking this guy in the ass.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you have
yeah,
a very
yeah,
open
yeah, yeah.
crowd that's willing to tell it
Yeah,
all,
dude,
man.
the guy getting pegged.
Yeah,
He
that
was
guy was
awesome.
just like, yeah, sure.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
I love that guy. He was so sick. Yeah, I like because I have a welcoming. I'm just trying to. We're just buds. Dude. Let's fucking
Well,
talk
and that's what
this
you talk
out.
about the vibe of when you see it live. It's like it's a thing
Yeah,
between you and the crowd.
It's
that
literally collaborative.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
truly
yeah.
is.
Right,
And
right.
that's what's special. That's my favorite part of stand up as an
crowd
art
work
form.
king, man.
Yeah,
Stabby,
I'm
baby.
trying.
Go check it
Thanks,
out.
fellas.
Thank you, bro.
Make sure you subscribe to KFC Radio on YouTube to get all the video content. Subscribe, comment, like, and make sure you turn on the bell notifications so you know whenever new video content drops.
I want to say something, but the video has to be faster. That's it.